Taco Tuesday. We're calling it Taco Tuesday number 1, the new beginning, a new beginning, because we've got a bunch, I don't know how many there, that Taco Tuesday is mentioned. But now for the Epic Beard and Dave, we're going to run a Taco Tuesday, and when we do one, we're just going to number it and maybe give it a flashy nickname and post them like that, you know. But look at this. It's kind of cool. Even sitting in the shade is really, really nice. Welcome to a new beginning. Taco Tuesday with the Epic Beard and Dave. First of all, there's a lot going on, I guess. For me, kind of a wave we're going through. There's going to be some changes in my life. There's going to be some changes on Facebook for me as well. I guess we're going to have a fire sale or something. I don't know. How's that mustache looking? Anyways, I'm going to put the music back on. I turned it off because I was watching a video on socialism, and how it's very popular. It is very popular with young people today. The Khrushchev and those at the Politburo maintain the strategy, and it's starting to pay off. They really got going during the 60s, during the social revolution, I guess, or the cultural revolution. And now, not just our higher learning, but all our learning is dominated by left-wing socialist thinking, or communist thinking, actually. Socialism is, who was it? Vladimir Lenin commented that socialism is the path to communism. It's just communism. And how true it is. Look at two leaders, two presidents. Well, one who could not be unelected, ironically, and now a new one that apparently can't be unelected. In Venezuela, in that time, have reduced the country to a starvation, to economic collapse, to violence, with the government definitely coming out against the citizens. It's all about Maduro now, and not the Venezuelan people. It was always about what's his name? God, I can't remember his name. And so remember that when many, especially movie stars, start to talk about politics and whatnot, because it was Sean Penn who went there, and Michael Moore, and a few others, to see this socialist utopia. And they're not saying anything about the plight of the people there. If you'll notice, they're dead silence on that. Moore's too busy whining about Trump, who is actually doing something in this country, and at least one of the few politicians I've seen that has kept his promises. I don't know, explain that to me. And another reason for the new title and new outlook. We've undergone, in the last few weeks, we've undergone some things that have made us take a strong look at ourselves and those around us, and calculated our value and our worth, at least to them, or what it appears to be to them. And because of previous changes, it has been surmised that I'm really of no value to many of the people I used to associate with. I still have some good friends, but if I try to talk to some now, it's like, I had a question about something that happened a couple of weeks ago, and today I messaged a friend of mine who's on Facebook, and then I saw him giving me a thumbs up for stuff he liked, so I sent him a message, I said, "Hey, do you have Messenger?" And I got a thumbs up, and he replied, goes, "Yes, I do." So I had already posted something on Messenger, and not too long ago I went back and looked at it, and what, in response to my question, was he forwarded some little bullshit thing that was you're supposed to forward to 5 of your friends back to me again. He's already done this twice, so this is the third time, and I guess maybe if I talk to him again, he'll do it 4 times, I just answered thanks, but I believe that's a red flag, a warning sign of the sincerity and the honesty of people. A week or so ago, over a week ago, I texted a lady I knew from where I used to regularly eat. At least one. I would go there on Fridays, every Friday, just to treat myself, and kind of like the people there. And so I messenger. She's on Facebook with me, and I messenger her, and nothing, not a reply, nothing. Just deafening silence. So I don't know. I don't know if they just don't messenger, or I'm not worth the response. I don't know. And I'll never know, because I'm not going to pursue it much. There are a few words that you never want to really hear me say, and 2 of them are, "I'm done." That's it. I'm done. And when I reach that point and I say those words to myself, generally out loud, or I will tell you to your face, that I'm take it for its value. If you see me again, it'll be by coincidence or accident. Mostly accident. I'm not going to search you out. I'm not going to bother you. I'm not going to communicate with you anymore. And as a result, I have lost a couple friends. Well, I used to call them friends. I was probably never a friend to them, and so there's no great loss on their part, I guess, or none on mine anymore. Wow. It's got dark, and it's still early. Anyways, it's funny to see that how they're still protesting Brett Kavanaugh, and that he's actually sitting in judgment now, right now, on the bench at the Supreme Court. He's hearing a case. The media is actually reporting on what he did, that he was quiet through most of it, and then he asked a few questions, and specifically what the questions were about on a couple of them, and it seemed like they were purely on legal decisions or legalities, or the letter of the law or the general relation of the law. I can't remember what the case is. I don't think it's monumental, you know. But vote. Get out there and vote. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. You vote your conscience. You have to live with that. Unlike, quite honestly, what I've learned is, for instance, Californians vote and they don't live with their consequences. They blame the government and they blame everybody else, and they blame especially one party and not the other. And here I live in a state now that when we go to elect some people, we're pretty much just going to choose Democrats. Like for state senate, for our state senator, or for our senator in Washington, we have a choice between a monster and another guy, both Democrats. And I've been a firm believer that we should repeal the 17th Amendment to begin with. You know, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And that's interesting that, you know, catch a lot of shit because I'm really a constitutionalist. And I hear a lot of things that just infuriate me. I heard on a television show, you know, somebody said something about the Constitution, and the dad responded and goes, "My God, it's been amended. It's just a jackass document. It's been amended 27 times." Well, yeah. I mean, it was written in there to where if the founding fathers erred or omitted something, then it could be amended. I don't believe some of the amendments are right. There's a lot of ones in the Civil Rights Acts that there was actually law before that, federal law. But they felt they had to amend it. It's funny because out of it, women got the right to vote. And to be honest with you, again, I mean, women should have the right to vote. Always should have. And it's funny and ironic that at the time that that amendment was passed, the states were already allowing women to vote and run for office. I can't remember her name, but I can never remember her name when I need to. But there's an amazing one back before World War I. I think it was Wyoming, or was it Montana, or something like that. But the first woman elected to Congress came from there. She was elected in like 1916 and 1917 or something like that. And she voted when they went to vote for World War I. She was a pacifist, and so she voted against going to war in World War I. And she only served one term, not because she wasn't reelected, but because they broke up her district. And it became it split or something like that. And I don't think she ran, or if she did, the other candidate was more popular. And she was out of office, and she moved to another state, and she was a big advocate of female rights, and you know, good for her. She was a suffragette, and women got the right to vote, and back in 1940, from her new state, she was elected to Congress. Believe it or not. And why I remember her is because in December of 1941, when Congress voted to go to war against Japan, she was the only person to vote against it. Now, I know, it's probably what cost her seat, because she was never, she lost her seat in the next election, and she never ran for, I don't believe she ever ran for office again. But what I like about her, most of all, is she stuck to her guns. She was a pacifist, and she stuck to her guns. She did not want to go to war. She didn't want American boys or Americans to fight a war. And so she voted against it. She was the only person to vote against it in 1941. But, I mean, come on. I mean, what kind of guts does it take to say, well, I know it's going to pass, and look at, it's probably going to just be unanimous, so, but I'm against war, and I'm going to vote against it. And she did. And I think it's amazing. I think I can respect that. I can respect that in that person. Yeah, I might think she's wrong, and I might not agree with her thinking or her actions, but I do respect what she did. So there you go. And so we're going to see what happens in this election. See if there's a shift in the House. See if there's a shift in the Senate. And then we're going to see, because they've been screaming to impeach Trump for 2 years now. So we're going to see if somebody's going to file impeachment articles against Brett Kavanaugh. Because they've been screaming and threatening that. So they're not done with this guy yet. Also in the news, which I think is completely hilarious, is it seems that a great number of the country has soiled their adult diapers, have made a mess in the parlor, on the couch, in their cars, at work, and had complete breakdowns over the emergency alerts, national emergency alert system, because it's a message from the president. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this program and this system began under Obama. I don't know how far back, but this was an Obama thing. And I think they just it's just out of it. It's out of their, just completely out of it. And I think the wording, like a message from the president, was something that even I believe Obama would have approved and would have had to approve, and may even been his idea. Who knows? But that's all it is. It's just an alert. It's just an alert to a national emergency. That something tragic has happened or is going to happen. And it's going to affect us on a national scale. And, hello, who is this? I don't recognize the photo, I'll have to look it up. And the video went off, I guess, I don't know. Are you watching still? Please say hello. But, it's insane. I mean, that something as simple as that. We would get tests all the time on the television, the emergency broadcast system, and on the radios. And I have noticed there's been a lot of them lately, the last few months, like coming almost weekly. Some of them a couple of them for legitimate reasons, but mostly a lot of tests. Test after test after test. And I begin to wonder if this is the system that caused the spoof or the goof in Hawaii when they tested, and they were probably testing part of that. I don't know. All I know is it shook people up, but I can understand that if you're incorporating or expanding a system or adjusting it, all computer stuff, you can have errors, It's all in the way you write code. A computer only does what it's told to do, and if you told it to do something stupid, it will. So, I don't know. But I think it's just ridiculous that people are reacting the way they are to the test. And the fact that now handhelds or cell phones are now incorporated into the whole thing, because before it was just radio and television, and a lot of times you're not near a radio, and you're not listening to radio, and you're not on television. Ladies, and here we go. Who do we have here? I don't know who this guy is. I love it when the green little camera comes on. I guess that means they're watching, and now it goes off and they're not watching. I always wish people would say something. It's always appreciated. Also, any input to my arguments or whatever is greatly appreciated. Well, I'm not arguing as much as this is my opinion, and this is the way I see it, the way I look out my glasses and see the world. And they're not rose-colored, I can tell you that. They're not rose-colored. I think I am a person that passionately believes that there's still a lot of good people in the world. It's just either I haven't met them, or I bring out their dark side. I don't know. You tell me. Again, you tell me. You know, but I'm going to try and continue to reach out to humanity, to my fellow Americans, and to the small cadre and getting smaller cadre of people. And I have on Facebook. I don't know. Still never know. Never know. Let me get rid of this. I hate these things. Some weird game that I accidentally said yes to, and now it pops up all the time, and it's just a pain in the ass. See, I make mistakes. Always did and always will. So, I don't know, it's just, this country is ridiculous at times. Completely ridiculous. You know, great celebrities that are trying to lead us. And they're not leaders, they're actors, they're played clowns. They're monkeys on a string. You know, and they need to dance. They need to dance for their dinner, and that's it. I have heard something that's really, really cool, because, for instance, some have put up comments about, you know, about wealth and greed and whatnot, and yet when you go back and look at them, they're worth $100 million, and they have multiple homes. And I mean, I think that before the government they wish they want would take those away from them, that they should open them up to homeless and to whatever, and their properties, and build some homeless shelters and whatever on them. And to one guy recommended that that like guys like Matt Damon and them should take whatever they're getting paid and their percentage from the movie sales, and put it back into the union and spread the money around other fellow not struggling and not successful actors, you know, and even and just spread their money out, and of course maybe around somewhere else. I mean, Jim Carrey's a good one. He should, any money he makes here, he should not be able to take to Canada with him, and he should spread it out. He wants socialism. Spread it out. Spread it out. Give it to the people you work with. Give it to the people you that are standing outside those theaters or standing outside those studios that are living in boxes and whatever, and spread it amongst them. You know, what is it? Robin Williams had a thing in all his contracts, an addendum or whatever, to so much was supposed to go, I guess, from his pay or whatever, to helping the homeless in the area that they're filming in or whatever, help feed them and get things set up and going for them. There was some other actor that does something like that, you know. Keanu Reeves supposedly donates so much of a percentage of his salary to charity or to whatnot into the area. I mean, how much do you need? How much do you really need? How well or how much does Alec Baldwin need? Does he need mansions or whatever, or can you get away with a 2 or 3 bedroom house, simple house, and living a regular, normal life without servants and whatnot, and just be a regular, even though he is famous and he can go on Saturday Night Live and all, but he can just be also an average guy, I don't know. I give up, We have Oprah Winfrey claiming, making people happy because she gives away, you get a car, you get a TV, you get, what if she just turned around and spread her money all through the poorer neighborhoods of Chicago and wasn't the big multi-billionaire that she is? And she lived a simple life. A simple means doing her job. Yes, she has the O Corporation and all of that. She's one of the richest women in the world. We could see a lot of that. That might put some ginger in their words, I don't know. I think I'm one of those that wish, I'm going to pick on Goldie Hawn. Fuck it. I'm going to pick on Goldie Hawn because now she's claiming, well, I'm an American, I don't have to go. You're right, you don't. But my own son tells me when you say something you have, you're responsible for it. And you have to be responsible for the repercussions. Well, the repercussion here is you lied. You said that if Trump gets elected, you're going to leave. Well, you didn't leave. He got elected. You're still sitting there. Now you're claiming, oh, I'm an American. I don't trust you. Why should I listen to you? What do you say that is worth meaning, that has honesty and truth to it? I mean, you obviously don't. You obviously will say whatever you want to say, and then you don't walk the walk or talk the talk. You just talk. Okay? You just talk. And so, to anyone else, to Whoopi, screw you. Okay? Alright, this is, I'm the Epic Beard, and Dave. I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to say to all of those who said they would leave when Trump got elected, the midterms are here. It's 2000. That was 2016. It's 2018. Why haven't you left yet? Go to Canada. Go to Venezuela. Go to Spain. Go anywhere. Just go. And it's not because it's like, a love it or leave it thing. I'm just holding you up to what you said, what you promised, and what you threatened. So please, be honest and truthful. Have your word mean something. Go. Leave for a while. Of course, personally, I would want to see your citizenship stripped and your status changed, but, I'm not in the government. And that would be vengeful, and I don't think I'm a vengeful person. I think about it from time to time, but, I'm not someone to actually carry out vengeful acts. But, I'm a person that needs to go through his shit and throw away what he doesn't need. And I don't need a lot of heartache, and I don't need a lot of aggravation, and I don't need a lot of red flags in my life. So I'm going to hit finish. I hit finish, and it didn't. So I'm going to hit Swedish. How about Danish? How about English?